My next guest has proposed an amendment to the Constitution to take things several steps further. He wants to force Congress to write a balanced budget, and he wants the government to live within its means. Here now, Tea Party Republican Senator from Utah, Mike Lee. Senator, you're a regular on this show. It's always a pleasure. Welcome back.
Thanks, Judge. It's good to be with you.
Tell us how your amendment would work. Put aside the political obstacles to it, but let's say it is passed by 2/3 of each house of the Congress, adopted by 3/4 of the state legislatures, and becomes part of the Constitution. How would it work? Who would monitor it? And what would happen if a future Congress decided it wanted to disregard that amendment and spend more than it took in?
Well, the basic way that it would work would be that Congress each year would have to pass a balanced budget in which outlays don't exceed revenues, and in which Congress didn't exceed 18% of gross domestic product in any given year. And then, in order to exceed either of those limitations, or to increase taxes, or to raise the national debt ceiling, Congress would have to approve that workaround by a 2/3 supermajority vote in both houses of Congress. And now, if Congress decided to just disregard that, then members of Congress, under certain circumstances, would have standing to bring suit in federal court to get the courts to get involved, with the understanding that courts wouldn't have the authority to order a tax increase.
All right, so the courts wouldn't have the authority to order a tax increase, but they would have the authority to say to Congress, this is not a balanced budget, you got to spend less. And if you're unwilling to spend less, I'll decide how much you spend. Do we want that to happen, Senator Lee?
No, we don't want that to happen, and members of Congress wouldn't want that to happen either. This judicial enforcement provision is intended to be something that operates by what you would probably refer to as an in terrorem effect. Congress would be so fearful of the courts getting involved that they'd aggressively safeguard the operation so that it didn't get into the hands of the courts.
All right. You have said before that you're against raising the debt ceiling. You see the need for it. You might be willing to vote for it if the balanced budget amendment were part of the package. Question. Does it look like the balanced budget amendment will be part of the package? Will the president, will the Democrats support the balanced budget amendment that you've offered in order to get your vote and the votes of other fiscally conservative Republicans to raise the debt ceiling?
It is uncertain at this point. I'm not seeing a lot of positive signals from the Democratic side of the aisle on this point yet. I'm withholding judgment on that. But if that's the case, then I will continue with my plan to resist any effort to raise the national debt ceiling with everything in me.
We just had your colleague from Kentucky, your fellow Tea Party member, Senator Rand Paul, on suggesting, offering, and defending a truly courageous proposal to cut the president's budget by $500 billion. Do you support that? Do other Republicans in the Senate support it?
I certainly support the effort to achieve cuts of that magnitude or even larger. I haven't had a chance to review all the particulars of it yet. I applaud him for his effort. I'm going to be reviewing that and figuring out whether and to what extent I can support it.
Is this a hopeless situation? Are we forever in this sort of Ponzi scheme of borrowing money to pay off prior debts, borrowing money to pay off interest, hoping the taxpayers won't notice, that things will gradually and gradually and gradually get worse and worse and worse? Or at some point will guys like you and Rand Paul and women like Michelle Bachmann just say, enough is enough. It's not going to happen anymore. We're turning the tide right now.
It's definitely not hopeless, Judge. And the reason it's not is because the American people are demanding more of Congress. They're demanding that Congress restrain its own power to borrow against their grandchildren, some of whom have yet to be born. That's how we're going to fix this problem. I think it's the only way we're going to fix the problem. But it is going to get fixed. That's the good news.
All right.
Once this thing passes, we'll get us back on track.
Senator Lee, come back and talk to about this whenever you like. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.